which will not be changed, permanent IP, right? So public IP is to we used to connect server. We use the public IP, and also we use private IP to communicate internally, right? So every physical laptop or a desktop or server is having only one IP. But cloud side, you take Azure servers or Google Cloud servers or AWS servers, so every server is having two IPs, public IP, private IP. So every time public IP will be changed. That is why. So normally in real-time projects, we always use the elastic IP, right? IP should not be changed. Excuse me. So if the IP is changing, keep on changing every day, what will happen? Anyone? IP changing every day. What will happen? Everyone will be confused, right? Developers, testers. So everyone will be confused. That is why. So we use elastic IP. Elastic IP is a static IP, which will not be changed until you terminate your server, right? Yeah. So that is why in real-time projects, always use the elastic IP addresses for servers. Okay. So we discussed about all these things, right? So today and tomorrow, so we'll discuss about Linux concepts. Practically, we can execute the commands, basic commands, advanced commands, deployment commands. Okay. So before going to work on project, first we need to understand the commands, right? Nearly 50 to 760 commands available. So those are very, very important commands. So in real-time projects, day-to-day activities. So in day-to-day life, we use that commands. Okay. Yeah. So make sure everyone practice these commands. So in real-time projects, always use the SOPs. What is SOP, anyone? In real-time projects, for example, when client raises a request or a ticket. So if for every concept, for every activity, for every challenge, we use the we manage the we maintain the SOPs. SOPs. So what is SOP? Standard operating procedures. SOPs. Okay, so which is normally we can say documentation. So every activity we prepare document in real-time projects. Standard operating procedures, SOPs. These terminals are very important. SOPs available in real-time projects. We always follow the SOPs only. We should not give our own customized names. We should not give our own terminologies, right? For example, while creating servers, so we need to use the standard names, standard terminology, right? Yeah. Yeah. Introduction to Linux. So agenda here is what is Linux, what is operating system, types of operating systems, history of Linux, Linux origins, why Linux, architecture of Linux, Linux advantages, disadvantages, Linux versus Windows, Linux file system hierarchy, basic commands, advanced commands, deployment commands. These are all we discussed today. So up to here, basic commands only we can cover today. So tomorrow, advanced commands, deployment commands. Okay, only 2 days, Linux concepts. So 2.5 hours to 3 hours max. Okay. So tomorrow I may take extra time. So 15, 20 minutes. Because today some time wasted, right? Yeah. So tomorrow I may take extra 15, 20 minutes. Fine. So here, agenda here is what is Linux? Anyone, what is Linux? Linux is here. Okay. Yes. So before that, okay, mediator, that is fine. Before that, what is Linux? Operating system. Operating system, right? So what is operating system? You told. You gave that answer. It is a mediator between user and the computer hardware, right? Yeah. So operating system is a Unix-like operating system. So Linux is a Unix-like operating system, right? So before Linux, we used to use Unix. So Unix also, it is a family. It is a family, Linux family, right? So now, see here. So it can run on 32-bit and 64-bit hardware. So any type of hardware we can install Linux, we can use Linux. So 32-bit is 64-bit. So earlier, like 10 years back, 20 years back, we used to use very old hardware. So currently we are using i7, i5, i3, right? So 15 years back, 20 years back, we used to use P1, P2, P3, Celeron, Cyrix, i386, i385, different configurations, oldest configurations. Those are 32-bit, right? So Linux can run on any type of hardware, not only latest configuration. So you can run on any hardware. Next one, Linux OS is freely distributable, cross-platform support. Linux kernel is free. Linux kernel is completely free. So freely distributable, cross-platform support. So we can use any platforms for Linux here. Okay. And also supports multiple processors. So any processors we can use, not only latest processors, right? We can use any processors. So we can run Linux on any processors. Next one, true multitasking multi-user operating system. This is very, very important point. True multitasking multi-user OS operating system. So multitasking, what is multitasking anyway? So at a time, we can run multiple tasks on Linux operating system. Multi-user, what is multi-user? So multiple users, they can log in at a time to Linux servers, right? So for example, while deploying the application, so normally developer develop the code, they develop the applications. Testers test the code applications. So once testing is completed, as a DevOps engineer, what we will do? We deploy, right? So while deploying the code, developers log into the servers, testers log into the servers, DevOps engineers also log into the servers. So multiple users, they can log into the servers, they can perform multiple tasks at a time, which is a true multitasking, multi-user operating system, right? So multiple users, they can log in into the servers, they can perform multiple tasks at a time, which is a true multitasking, multi-user operating system. Next one. So Linux is a operating system. What is operating system? Yeah, it is a interface between user and the computer hardware, right? Interface, what is interface? For example, yeah, so computer hardware always understand binary language, right? 000, 001, 100, 111, right? Yeah, so computer hardware always understand binary language, but human will not understand binary language. That is why we require one translator, right? So, yeah, the translator is OS, operating system. So this translator, what it will do? Yeah, it will convert binary language into human readable language and vice versa for effective communication, right? So for example, so I went to RI, which is Vietnam. So they don't know English. They don't speak English. Very few people. Okay, so local language one, right? Yeah, so one person is there. He translate. So in that local office, in that their office, so one local person, so he used to translate our language to their language to our language. So or else so we have Google Convert, Google Translate. So we just speak there, will convert to any language, right? Yeah, fine. So this operating system, yeah, it will convert binary language into human readable language and vice versa for effective communication. Okay. Yeah. So here types of operating systems. What are the types available? Single user, single tasking operating system. What is this? Only one user can log in the system. He can perform one task at a time, right? Just a minute. Huh? What we're discussing today? Just fine. Single user, single tasking operating system. One user can log into the system, it can perform multiple tasks at a time, right? Yeah. For example, so MS-DOS, which is old, very old operating system. In this MS-DOS, only one user can log into the system. You can perform only one task at a time, which is a single user, single tasking operating system, right? Second one is a single user, multitasking operating system. So one user can log into the system, he can perform multiple tasks at a time, which is single user multitasking operating system. So for example, Windows. In Windows, so we can log in as a user, we can perform multiple tasks at a time, right? One user can perform multiple tasks. So while working on any activity, we can run background audios. We can run any videos also, right? Yeah. So next one is important one, which is a multi-user multitasking operating system. This we already discussed. Multiple users, they can log in the system, they can perform multiple tasks at a time, which is Linux, right? So currently Linux, every organization, every data center, they're using server side Linux only, and a desktop side, laptop side, we use the Windows, right? Next one. History of Linux. History of Linux. What is the history? So let's try to understand here. Is Mr. Linus Torvalds, who invented Linux kernel, who developed Linux, right? So is the American software engineer, right? Linus Torvalds. So he invented the Linux operating system. So in April 1991, Linus Torvalds, a 21 years old student at the University of Helsinki, Finland, started working on some simple ideas for an operating system. So by September 1991, Linux version 0.01 was the released on the FTP server of the Finnish University and Research Network. So Linux first version 0.01, right? In 1991, he released. So for this first release, he spent 10,239 lines of the code. So because by the time 90s, we used to use very old technologies, right? COBOL, Pascal, and also very old languages we used to use. So currently we are using very advanced languages, advanced technologies, Scala, Python, Ruby, right? And also different advanced technologies are available. So yeah, currently if you want to release this version, so we can spend only 300 lines to 500 lines maximum. But by the time they used to use very old technologies, that is why we spent 10,230 lines of the code, right? Yeah, the X Windows system was soon ported to Linux. In March 1992, Linux version 0.95 was the first to be capable of running X. Means, yeah, see here, 0.95 was the capable version for computator for running X. What is running X? Windows. For Windows computer, so they released 0.95 was the capable version, right? Yeah. So after 1991, there were several commercial implementations of Linux released. So Linux kernel he developed and he released, he gave free of cost to every organization, right? Yeah, after 1991, so yeah, what happened here? Every organization, they took the kernel, they designed their own flavor. So he gave free of cost Linux kernel. So by the time every organization, they took the kernel, they designed their own flavor, right? So here what happened? See here. Apple computers, they took the kernel, they designed AUX. So AT&T system release 3, they developed. Hewlett Packard, HP Unix, IBM, AX, Linux, real-time Unix. Next step, Santa Cruz operations, SCO Unix, Silicon Graphics, IRX, Sun Microsystems, Sun OS, Sun SolarOS. Like this, every company, they took this kernel, they designed their own flavor. Currently, so many flavors are available in Linux, right? So because of, they give free kernel. They customize their own flavors, right? So yeah, for example, we are using laptops, right? Laptops, but inside of the laptop, we are using storage drive, our processor. Which company we are using? Processor, Intel. Storage, Seagate. Seagate, right? So brand is Dell or HP or Lenovo, but we are using, instead of the laptop, we are using Intel processor, Seagate storage, right? Yeah, same way, every company, they took the kernel, Linux kernel, they designed their own RAM, right? Understanding, right, everyone? Next one, features of Linux operating system. What are the features available? Let's try to understand. So these are the important features here. Flexibility. So we can use the Linux operating system. Flexibility. So any hardware we can use, anywhere we can use, lightweight, standalone. So or else we can use in different systems, different operating environments. We can run this, right? Portability. Portability means it is very lightweight, very lightweight. Anywhere you can install any systems. Open source. Open source means freely distributable. It is a free, right? Free software. Yes, we can get the free. Lightweight, very minimal configuration, minimal size. Yeah, accessible update. So every day, every month, we get updates for this. Okay. Security, compare with Windows, more secure, right? And well-defined file system. File system structure is there. I'll show you that next slide. File system structure is there in Linux that we can use, right? High customization. So every organization, they took the kernel, they customize their own flavors, right? And multi-user support. Multiple users at a time, they can log in. Thousands of users, they can log in at a time. Scalability, scaling, right? Yeah. So GUI support. What is GUI? Graphical user interface, right? In Linux, we have GUI also, but we don't use the GUI real-time projects. We always use the CLI, right? Because GUI is not secure, CLI is more secure, right? These are the important features available in Linux. That is why most of the organizations, most of the project teams, they're using Linux for server side, Linux operating system, they're using on servers. Windows, we are using on laptop desktops, right? Next slide. Yeah, architecture of Linux. What is the architecture? See. So this is the Linux architecture. Here we have 4 layers available. Hardware layer, kernel, shell, application program, right? So hardware layer, what is hardware? Which is the physical layer, physical layer. So it can be RAM, CPU, storage, network devices, right? So which is a hardware layer? Kernel, what is kernel? It is the core component of the Linux. It is the core component of the Linux. Without kernel, it will not run. Linux will not run. Shell, it is a special interpreter program. Shell is a special interpreter program, right? So application program. So those are applications, whatever you want to. That is the topmost layer. Application is the topmost layer, right? So hardware layer, kernel, shell, application programs. This is the architecture. So shell, when we talk about shell, so here we can execute all the commands, whatever commands we have, ls, short, sed, who, tar, grep, cp, right? Yeah, kernel is the core component. So it will interact hardware to shell. This is a mediator between hardware to shell, right? So this is the architecture of Linux. Yeah. So Linux versus Windows. What are the difference? What are the differences here? So both supports graphics. Both OS supports graphics. Graphics means GUI, right? So Windows is having GUI, Linux is also having GUI, right? But we don't use GUI in Linux. In Linux, normally we don't use GUI in real-time projects. So because GUI is not secured, right? So if any virus releases, if any virus release, directly attack to the Windows first. But Linux is virus free, virus free. That is why. So and also so many features are available in Linux. Okay, and also main difference here is yeah. First thing is distributions, so many free distributions available. And GUI supports Linux, yeah, both support GUI, but here multiple users when they want to log in servers, only Linux support. Windows will not be supported, right? So Windows will not support for multiple users. Multitasking is okay for Windows side, but multiple users they cannot log in Windows. Uh, yeah, at a time they cannot log in, right? But Linux supports multiple users, multiple tasks at a time, right? And also, main important thing here is security. So Linux is more secure, Windows is not secure, right? That is why. So every organization, every project team, there is Linux one. So here, if anyone asks you, what is the difference between Linux and Windows? Yeah, Linux is more secure, Windows is not secure. And Linux is multi-user multitasking, but Windows does not support multi-user. Okay, it's two important differences, right? Next one. So advantage of Linux, see here. These are all advantages. Open source. Yeah. So openly, yeah, any organization they can use without any without any charges. But server side, you need to buy some licensing. So desktop side, laptop side, so we can use freeware. Okay. Scalable. Scalability means we can scale up the resources. Security. So compare with Windows, Linux is more secure, right? No one can hack the Linux systems, and also no viruses. So virus free operating system. Yeah. So here customization. So we can customize our Linux applications, Linux operating systems. Okay. So yeah, variety of distributions. So many distributions like Ubuntu, RHCL, CentOS, SUSE Linux, Amazon Linux, right? Like that, nearly 35 flavors are available in Linux. 35 flavors. And also server performance. Compare with Windows, Linux is very high performance server, high performance operating environment. Yeah. So resource efficiency. So whatever applications you are deploying on Linux OS, those are more efficiently we can use. Those are more efficient. Okay. So see here, licensing flexibility. Licensing flexibility. So licensing is very less cost actually. So not entire free, right? Server side they are charging something, right? So like they have very flexibility here. Okay. Yeah, these are the advantages. Now let us go with the disadvantages. See here. So complexity for beginners, disadvantages. So beginners will be confused initially. So in 2012, I switched to Linux. In 2012, I switched to Linux. So before that, I was trying to learn Linux, but I could not. So my career started in 2005 with Verizon Data Services. Okay. So by the time I started my career as a Windows admin, Windows under VMware admin. Okay. So 20, 2005 to 2012, I could not learn Linux because command line. Initially, little confusion. Once you start working on Linux, it's very easier, very simple. Okay, but we need to focus on this, and we need to spend some time so that we can easily handle the Linux. So in Windows, normally we navigate right using mouse, but here we execute the commands. That is the only difference, right? So Linux is not very user friendly, confusing for beginners. So both are same here. So both points are same. This is only the disadvantage, right? So this is only the disadvantage. So Linux is not very user friendly. User friendly means cannot navigate. We cannot, uh, yeah, we cannot learn our own, right? So we need to learn something here. We need to execute commands. We need to follow the architecture. We need to follow the folder structure. These are all the things. Fine. Yeah. So once you start working on Linux, it is very easy. It is very straightforward. Linux is very straightforward, right? Yeah. Next one. Linux folder structure. So these are the folders available in Linux. So root, boot, bin, var, etc, media, home, sbin, usr, dev, opt. So these are all folder structure available, folders. So even though in Windows also we have folders, right? Windows also we have folders. But these are the folders. On top of this folder, there is a slash. There is a slash. So which is a, yeah, which is a parent directory. Parent directory. So when we call root, we can call it as slash root. So when we call boot, slash boot. When we call bin, slash where, slash etc, slash media. Normally, so when we go to village, when we go to village, people identify you. Okay, his for example, surname. Surname important, right? Surname is very important. So people identify using the surname. Okay, this guy is from that family, like that, right? Same way, this folders always we can call it as root slash boot slash bin. This is the parent name, right? Yeah, see here. Next slide. Slash bin. What is slash bin? User binaries. In the slash bin, we store the user binaries, user data, user binaries. Slash boot loader files, bootable files. We store in the slash boot. Slash dev, device files. So slash dev. In slash dev, we store the device files. Slash etc. So system configuration files we can store in this. etc. All the configuration files are available in the slash etc. Don't confuse here. So normally, if you go and check in the C drive in your laptop, there is a Windows folder, right? There is a Windows folder, right? Program files, right? Program files, right? And also user folder, right? So same way in Linux also, we have different folders available. That's it. Don't confuse this. Okay. Yeah. See here. Slash etc is it stores the system configuration files. So slash home user home directories, slash lib libraries. Okay. Slash media removable media mount points. So media means pen drive files, external drive files, CD drive files available in the slash media. So slash MNT, so mount point for temporary mounted file systems. OPT, optional softwares stored in the OPT. SBIN, system binaries. SRV, data for services. Service data available in the slash SRV, right? So temporary files. Slash USR, user utilities and applications. Slash var, variable files. What is variable? What is variable? Value folder or file holder, right? Yeah, so variable files. So slash root, next one, slash root. So home directory for root user. This is the home directory for root user. Root user means admin user, right? Slash proc, yeah, virtual file system, processor. So slash proc means process information available in this. Okay. So these are the folder structure available. So while working on DevOps tools and AWS concepts, so we use the slash etc, slash boot, slash root, slash where. These folders are very important. So while working on DevOps tools, I'll show them. Okay. Yeah. So this is the folder structure. Every Linux servers are having these folders. Fine. Next one. So why Linux? Why the project teams are using Linux only? Server side, servers, they are using Linux. What are the importance? It is free, open source, secure, so many distributions available, fast performance. These are all important advantages here. That is why everywhere, every organization they're using, yeah, Linux servers. Okay. So here, no viruses, no malwares, no slowdowns, no crashes, no costly repairs, no viruses. Linux is virus free, right? No malwares. Those are threats, issues, vulnerabilities, right? Slowdowns. Normally, we don't see any slowdowns in Linux. But Windows side, sometimes yeah, we can face the slowdown issues, right? Yeah, so crashes, servers will not be crash in Linux. Okay, costly repairs. So when any issues happen in Linux, right? So we can spend less budget on for server side, Linux servers. But Windows side, spend more budget for troubleshooting. So these are the concepts available. Yeah. So this is just introduction. Okay. Now, any questions? Anyone? Okay. Now what we will do? Will it carry all the program jar var etc? Jar var ER, those are different. Binary files. So I have one quick question regarding the bin/bin binaries. I give you time for asking questions. Just wait for a few more minutes. Now, so I give you time for asking questions. Wait for 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So Linux commands. So for example, if you want to check the time and date. Okay. So just give date. So before going to that. So before going to that, normally when we log into the system, when we log into the server, first of all, we get one prompt, which is a prompt, dollar, right? So which is a normal user prompt. So dollar is the normal user prompt. When we log in into the Linux server, we get the dollar, right? So dollar is the normal user prompt. Okay. Yeah. So now in dollar prompt, so every time we need to use the sudo command, sudo command. Every time we need to use the sudo, right? Yeah. So if you want to perform any major activities, it will not be allowed because so normal dollar is having minimal permissions. That is why we need to switch to root prompt. Root prompt. Okay. So how to switch to root prompt? Sudo space hyphen I to switch root prompt. So once you execute this command, sudo space hyphen I, the prompt will be changed to hash prompt. Hash prompt is a root prompt. So what is root anyone? Admin. It is a admin, right? Yeah. Next one. So once we log in into the system, so once we change the roots, once we change to root, switch to root, after that we need to change the host name of the server. What is host name? Host name is a server name. Why we need to change server name? What is the importance here? So for example, at a time we open the 10 servers, 10 consoles, 10 putty consoles. Okay, 10 servers we connected. Which service belongs to which project? Which service belongs to which application. How can we understand? By using the server name, right? That is why, first of all, we need to change the server name here. How can we change the server name? Command here is host name Linux server. Change the server name. So after that, we need to execute one more command, which is execute bash to reflect the name, to reflect. So, right? Yeah. So once we change this server name, after that, for example, if you want to check the date and time, just give date, check date and time. So it will show you the date and time, right? So if you want to check the calendar, current month calendar, just give cal to check the current month calendar. Use the cal, right? So if you want to check the previous year calendar, right? Cal space month space year to check, right? Yeah. Next one, if you want to check the present working directory, just give PWD, present working directory, where I am, right? So to check the present working directory, to check present working directory. So after that, if you want to check the user, to check the login user, to check the login user. So which I logged in as a which user? If I want to check, just give who. So one more command is there. Who am I? What is this command? To check the current current user. For example, I logged in as a EC2-user. After that, I switch to root. So EC2-user is the login user. Current user is root, like this function. And also users. If you want to check all users, to check all users, you can give users. In the server, 100 users logged in. If you want to check the 100 users at a time, just give users. You can see all the user list. These are the very simple comments, very basic comments. Okay. Next one. So these commands are very important. So these commands practically we can execute and we can work on these commands from here. Okay. Yeah. So Linux basic commands, first set of commands, which are creating, copying, moving, and removing files and directories. Creating, copying, moving, and removing files and directories. So these are the first set of commands, which are very important commands. Okay. So for example, if you want to create any file, how can we create the file? Anyone real time guys? Okay. Yeah. Real time guys, if you want to create any file in Linux, what are the command we use? mkdir. So mkdir is for creating folder, creating directory. Yeah, touch is fine. Touch is fine. Before touch, we used to use one basic command. Before touch, we used to use a basic command, which is a very, very important command. Yes, cat. Someone saying cat, right? Cat is the first command, very basic command. So we used to use. Currently, we are using even cat also. But so here, this is very basic command. So if you want to create any file, cat space greater than space file name. To create a file. To create a file. So cat space greater than space file name to create a file. So example, cat space file name file one. Once I execute this command, it will ask you to add the content in the file. It will ask you to add the content in the file. Once you execute this command, it will ask you to add the content in the file. So how can we add the content? So here, so once you execute this command, sorry, greater than is required. It will wait for the content here. So here we need to add some content. Hello world. Right? Once we add the content, if you want to save the file, Control plus D to save the file. Verify. Once we save the file, so if you want to list the files and directories, what is the command in? So we create the file. I want to check the file. How many files are available? How many folders are available? I want to check the list of files and directories. What is the command we use? Anyone? ls. Yes. ls is the command to list files and directories. To list files and directories. ls is the command, right? So yeah, once you give the ls, it will show you file one, right? So in file one, already data is there, hello world. Now I want to add a few more lines in the file one, which is appending the lines. We can append the lines. So if you want to append the lines, the existing file, cat space, double greater than space, file one. To append the lines on the existing file. To append the data on existing file, we give the command is cat space double greater than space file name, right? So it will ask you to add the content here. So here we need to add some content here. Yeah. So welcome to IT and Linux session basic like this. We can add some content here. So after that, so if you want to save the file, Control plus, right? Yeah. So again, if you want to check the list of files and directories, what is the command we use? ls is the command, right? Now, so if you want to create multiple files at a time, how can we create multiple files at a time? Let's file one already there, file two, file three, file four, file five. create multiple files. Use the touch command. So I want to create 1,000 files at a time. 1,000 files. So how can we create? So if you give touch file 1, file 2, file 3, so 1,000 times we need to give. But I don't want to give like that. I want to use the shortcut to create the 1,000 files. How can we create? Okay. So command here is touch file name XYZ, for example. Curly open 1,000. Create. This is a shortcut to create the files. 1,000 files. Sorry, here I get started, right? 1,000 files we can create at a time. 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, whatever files. Okay. This is the shortcut. Next one. How to create a directory. So directory and folder both are same. Directory and folder both are same. So how can we create a directory? Anyone? Yes. MKDR. MKDR is make directory. MKDR is make directory. So to create a directory or folder, so MKDR space directory name. To create a so once we create the directory, so I want to create 100 directories at a time. I want to create 100 directories at a time. How can we create? MKDR space directory name. For example, git curly open 1 .100. Shortcut. Next command. If you want to copy file into a directory, if you want to copy file into directory, how can we copy the file? Right? So command here is cp. Cp is the command. cd is different. cd is different. Okay? So yeah, cp is the command. cp source file name and space destination directory. Source file name and destination directory. To copy file into directory. Okay. Yeah. Once you copy file into directory, if you want to go inside of the directory, I want to switch into directory. I want to go into directory. So now we can use the cd. cd means change directory, right? cd space directory name. To switch directory. To switch, I provide you running notes. Okay. Nothing to worry. Next one, if you want to exit from the directory, so I want to go to directory, so for which I use the cd directory name. If you want to exit from the directory, cd space dot to exit from the directory. Right? Yeah. Next one. Next command here is, so if you want to remove the directory, remove the file, you want to remove the file. Okay. So what is the command we use? Remove rm, rm, right? Rm space file name. To remove the file, to remove the file. So rm space file name. Okay. Yeah. So normally when we execute rm space file name, we'll ask you to sr no, sr no every time. So I don't want to give sr no. I don't forcefully I want delete. Forcefully I want delete, right? For which rm space hyphen rf is the option. Rm space hyphen rf is the option. Space file name. To remove the file, to remove or delete the file forcefully without asking anything will be gone, right? Next one, if you want to delete the directory, if you want to delete the directory, so how can you delete the directory, right? Yeah. So if you want to delete the directory, command here is rm dir space directory name to remove the directory. Okay. So if you want to remove the directory, so in that directory, main directory, we have subdirectories are available. Subdirectories. Subdirectories available, files available in the directory. So now, if you want to delete the directory by using rmdir command, it will not be deleted. It will not be deleted. So because instead of the directory, already data is there, right? So we'll get the error. We'll get the error. So that is why if you want to remove the directory with files and folders instead of the directory, forcefully rm space hyphen rf space directory name to remove the directory forcefully, right? Next one. So here we discussed about copyright copy. So if you want to copy directory into directory, if you want to copy directory into directory, so file is file. So if you want to copy file into directory, that is file cp. If you want to copy directory into directory, same command cp source source directory space destination to copy directory into right. So copying is fine, but if you want to move the file, copying, moving, two things are available, two commands, copying and moving. So copying means copying. What what is copy? What is moving? Anyone having idea? Copying, moving. There is a difference. Copying means the file will be available in source place and also destination place. But when we use the move command, mv command, right? So the file will be completely moved from source to destination, just like copy paste, cut paste, right? Yeah. So mv source file name space destination remove file from source to destination. Okay. Copy source file into destination and copy cp source directory into destination directory. Copy. Okay. Source directory. Yeah, directory into directory. That is correct. Right? Copy source directory into destination directory. Destination. Yeah. Next one. So if you want to rename the directory or file, if you want to rename the directory, for example, rename. So we already having one directory. The directory is having some name. So I want to rename that. So we can use the MV. But MV we already used somewhere, right? MV source directory and destination or else MV old directory name and new directory. We can do that. To rename the so these are all the commands which are very basic commands. First set of commands. So here these are all first set of commands. So here ls is a list of files and directories, right? So one more command is there here, which is ls space hyphen l. What is ls space hyphen l? List to list files and directories with long listing. To list files and directories with long listing. Long listing means so ls is a command to list the files and directories. That is, right? So you can, if you want to check the files and directories, so you can give the ls. So ls space hyphen l, if you give, will show you the file permissions, creation timestamp, long listing, right? So we can use these commands. These are the first set of commands, very basic commands. So tomorrow what we will do? So tomorrow we'll create one server. In that we can execute all the commands one by one. So after that we'll work on advanced commands. So if you have time, we can cover deployment commands also tomorrow. Or else we'll work on Monday. Monday we'll discuss on deployment commands. So after that, we'll discuss about POSIT. Once the deployment commands are complete, then we'll work on POSIT. Okay. So these are the first set of commands, which are very, very important commands, which are very basic commands. So I provide you these notes. If you want to try these commands, you can try on the Linux server. You can create a Linux server and you can execute one by one all the commands like this. One by one, basic commands. So, and this set of commands, one by one you can execute. So tomorrow I'll show you. Tomorrow, practically, we'll execute this commands. Yeah. So now, any questions, anyone? You can ask your questions. So actually, I thought to complete the basic commands today. Practically, it's already 8:30. People are going to, people go to office, right? Working people are available, right, in our batch. Yeah. So any questions you can ask me now. I give you unmute option if you want to. You can raise your hand so that anyone having any questions? You can raise your hand.
Madam, sir.
So Uma Maheshwar.
Yeah. Uh, just a quick question regarding this. So all the jar files and all we keep in this bin, or like what is the purpose of?
Yes. Just a minute, please. Your voice is not audible. Just a minute, please.
Yeah.
Settings. insert ఉంటాయి. వెళ్ళింది. Just a minute, please. So settings section. Yeah, one sorry. Sorry. Maybe అప్పుడు వస్తుంది మైక్ ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది మ్యూట్ చేసినప్పుడు సపోజ్ సెట్టింగ్స్ సెక్షన్ yeah, you can ask your question. Now you can ask your question.
Yeah. Is it audible now?
Yes, yes. Now it is.
Yeah. Yeah. The question is like, so what kind of files this bin will hold? Is it executables or Java
Yeah,
files?
system binaries. System binary files. Binaries means what is binary?
Um,
System
yeah,
binary
it's kind
files.
of okay. Executables are called binaries, right? So my question is,
Binaries are
if
nothing but
I
tar,
create
var,
a
jar,
Java,
year. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yes.
yeah. So if I create a Java program and compile it, and then it creates a binary, right? A kind of a jar file. So where do we place the jar file in this Linux system?
No, no. That is only system binaries, not application binaries.
Application
System
binary.
binaries.
Okay. So in extension to that, so application binaries. So can I place application binaries in any of the folders which you have shown
No, we
earlier?
have optional variety, right? OPT. We have OPT, right? You can show you.
Oh, okay.
So I'll show you while working on tools. I'll show definitely. I'll show you.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So this slash bin, because most of the times we will be encountering this slash bin in our architecture actually.
Slash bin, yes.
So, so that's the question.
Yeah, got it. Got it.
Thank you so much. And yeah.
Any other questions, anyone? Fine. So tomorrow we'll create one server and we can execute all the commands one by one. Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow maybe I'll take extra 15 minutes. Okay. So we'll try to complete the next tomorrow. So Monday we'll work on project. So tomorrow we'll try to complete the Linux. Okay. Yeah. So make sure everyone practice whatever the services we are discussing daily. So everyone make sure practice so that within the 3 months you can easily crack your interview, right? 3 months, 4 months. So within that 3, 4 months, you can easily crack your interview. You can easily get into the projects. Fine. Yeah. So we can wind up here. So tomorrow sharp 7 a.m. Okay. So today meeting link has been changed, right? That is why I got some issues here. That is why it's delayed. So tomorrow sharp 7 to maybe 8:45. 7 to 8:45. So tomorrow we'll try to complete the Linux. Then we'll jump into AWS project. Fine. Yeah. So we can wind up here. Any more questions, anyone? Sorry. That's which one? Yeah. So here in Linux, yeah, Windows is having C drive, D drive, right? Same way in Linux, we have /dev /xvd /dev /sdb. I'll show you that tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll show you that. Okay.
With one
Okay.
quick question. Can I get some 5 minutes of your time so that I can talk to you one to one?
You are a classroom student or online? Online, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a tech student. I'm in US actually.
You are from
Yeah,
correctly from US. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, tell me your any personal thing or any
No, I
questions?
just wanted to introduce myself and my experience. I'm already working.
Okay.
I have about 21 years of experience. I'm working as a mainframes modernization architect. So I'll have exposure to the entire mainframes and AWS. But
Mhm.
my core area of working is mainframes and
Mentions.
lifting,
Okay.
lifting the mainframes workloads to AWS. Of course, in a integrated environment, AWS architects will be there. So I want to expose myself towards AWS also. So I have an experience in AWS. I have seen live environments, and we extensively worked in AWS.
Mhm.
My main focus is now we have an organizational mandate that
Mhm.
we need to produce certain certifications to just to showcase our abilities in the
Got it.
RFPs.
Mhm.
So when we are presenting it to the clients, like no, we like an organization will tell us tell to them that no, we have these many certified professionals.
Mhm.
So my focus is completing AWS no, solution architect associate as soon as possible.
Right, right.
So
Okay.
I kindly request your support in that. I need drums and so that I can start preparing.
Definitely, definitely. So definitely, yeah, I understand your question. So you are mainly focusing on AWS and automation. So you need
Correct.
certification support as required, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, you have 21 years experience, right? So nothing to worry, right? So you can practice daily basis. I guide you,
Mhm.
everyone, I guide you. So I give you some tips and tricks. I provide you support also. So you need to follow the process. You need to practice daily basis. Okay. So live class, don't miss the live class, daily regular class, don't miss. And also, important thing, so whatever the concepts you're discussing, right? You'll get the recording, right, every day. So while going through the recording, you note down the steps, and practice. So every time you cannot go through the recording, right? That is why. So note down the steps and you can practice. So that steps will be there whenever you want to practice, just check the steps. You can go and practice. Okay. Yeah, nothing to worry, Uma Maheshwar. So I'll
Yeah.
provide you support, whatever support to you people require. So everyone, you can ask me any support required. Okay. So definitely support and
Thank
yeah. So
In fact, I have been actually, I joined your class by demos, all demos. And after that, I've been fighting for your class since last 1 week. I've
right.
already registered for other sessions in just to scale up myself and to fill the gaps.
Mhm.
Um, I have already registered with Naresh IT for other AI and other sessions as well.
Right, right.
So,
Okay.
so I mandatorily, I just know I have looked for your session only. Like, no, they asked me to join other classes, but I'm comfortable with you. Just wanted to continue with you.
Thank you. Sure, definitely. So yeah, you can spend some time, definitely can cope up in the process. Fine.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So we can wind up here. So everyone, you can practice daily basis. So definitely you can cope up in the projects. You can easily crack your interviews also, right? So whatever the while attending the interviews, so you need to speak confidently, right? So you need to be strong technically. So these are all I guide you. So I provide you tips and tricks, right? Interview tips and tricks. Resume preparation also I provide you. I prepare your resume. So everyone spend your time and you can practice. Fine. Yeah. So we can wind up here. Yeah. Thank you all.